Okay, this video records a trip a group of us made on Sunday the 31st of August 2014 to Davidstown School through the fields. I suggested to Tom Stafford a couple of years ago that it might be an idea, or I'd like the idea of going back over the pathways and through the fields we had traversed as school children 40 or 50 or 60 years ago, most of us being from Ballinavary and Ballyelland, going to Davidstown School. So we had a very enjoyable time, very good weather, took an hour, half an hour, 3/4, and we arrived in Davidstown in right good spirits with a light heart, and then we retired to Nolan's tea room for enjoyment, as you'll see in the video.
But for those of you who were never on the path before, it's a mass path that was just one of three in the area. There's one here that we're here behind us, starting here at the back of Tom's yard. Another one went down Whalenstown Lane, as they call it, which is the Ballyelland Lane. Went up at the back of Tommy Kelly's and out through Ballyknockin and out as far as the Limekill and on to the village. And the other one then, which is probably the most popular, was the one through Stones Park. The truth of the matter is that the people that lived on the path at the time were probably the ones that were even more important than the journey themselves. There were Pat Hennessy, Mick Hennessy I suppose, was the man in charge at the time. And Mick, he was a gruff looking man, and he had an even gruffer looking dog. And I never really stopped a half a long time to talk to him. I'm sure he was quite a gentleman to those who didn't give him impotence and whatnot. Then there was Regan's, the most generous place, I suppose, for children of all time. You'd always call in there and you'd have an excuse, you were thirsty or something. But when you were in anyway, you'd get a biscuit or an apple, or depending on the time of the year. And I remember, well, Thrashing Day was a wonderful time there, because you get a bottle of lemonade. And that was something to look forward to. Up the lane then was Johnny Hennessy's there, Jimmy's uncle I think. And Mrs. Doyle then, a real lady, loved children, and she was the widow of Lar Doyle, who was the local blacksmith, and he operated, I think, the bottom of Monagher Hill. And then what had we went on further then. You had Dempsey's, postman Johnny Dempsey, they're the big family there, and one of the first families in the parish to realise the value of education, and they all did very well for themselves. And then I suppose the gem of all was Mrs. Denton. She was everybody's pet, and she was there for everyone, and she was a wonderful woman altogether. And she was always on the children's side anyway. If there was anything going on, she certainly wouldn't tell your mother or father about it, or the master or anybody. She was really on the children's side. So that was the path, and that's the one we're going on today. And we're going to finish up in Bill Nolan's. If there's any thirst on anyone want to see the match or anything like that, we'll see it there. So we'll take off there.
Well done.
Thank you for playing host,
Yes.
Joseph.
Yeah, notice between Maggie and Edmund now, don't put us on. We're only gathering in the yard here.
Well, you were involved too, Josie, now.
Just a little.
Yeah. Yeah, Doyle. Yeah. There was a big yard. Well, she is now, yes. Come on now. Come on.
This way before.
No, you won't hurry. They'll walk behind you, Sam.
Best thing is leave her alone. Oh.
Just like that.
This is Davidstown here. That's Ballyelland, where the horses are running up and down. And the field where the bales are, the stone park.
Oh yeah.
Down and out to the trees.
And where the horses are, everyone's looking down and they're down.
I know nice bit postcard helicopter.
Guaranteed by Edmund Crane. Whose house is that, Edmund?
Pat Hennessy's.
Who owns this land?
That's Hennessy's. Pat Hennessy's.
What's it? That field who?
That's Hennessy's. It's nice in the field here now. She mentioned
And of course, just like that. Now, if you had a hammer and chisel, you probably wouldn't get it out, but just like that, it turned.
Whatever move you made.
All down the lane.
Any consequences?
3 months we were going through that.
We couldn't go up there. We
tried
went
now
around.
going up Regan's yard here and going up the lane. And Mike would be waiting for us in the lane up there above. So we had to stop out here and go straight around. Wouldn't you into
The water run down for years long. The motor way to be rats are never here.
Yeah.
Spring trashing.
Hendrick being Hendrick and he got a big crowbar and you start rooting up these rats out of the house.
Yeah.
The whole shed nearly fell down. So. They rooted up the whole place nearly fell down.
And rats flying everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Went down along the top of the ditch, the grandest walk you ever seen.
Yeah.
So you used to walk along the ditch?
Oh, the top of the ditch. Oh, yes, the very top of the ditch.
Not there, further down.
Pat. There's well,
There's
John.
where for
There?
Yeah, they started there.
But the cow house was right there. But it's back coming to the...
No, it was on the other side.
No, it's over there. It's
on this side.
I thought it was the other side, Tom, now, to be honest.
What's on the other side then?
The pigs and all was at the other side.
No, the house and all was up there in the yard. The cow house was right beside the lane, and she used to be singing to the cows.
No, well,
You'd hear her in
if it's up there still, I guarantee you, if the walls is left there, there's a little low arch where the sows is coming into the house. But on the other side, I can remember Mrs. Hennessy milking the cows in that.
Well, the story was, anyhow, your grandmother was going to town after the famous shooting incident that was here, was he, in 1916 or 18 or something like that. And a reputable man from over near Mickery there, anyhow, was standing there again the pier with his rifle. And Hosey had dug a trench from the house over to this barn here, right across the yard here.
Yeah.
And they set fire to it, the house and on. The house was badly burned, so it was wrecked, completely wrecked. They never found Hosey. Hosey was in the shed here. He fired a shot anyhow, and our friend Biantin Larry Keogh was at the time resident over there.
Yeah.
The hat
Not
not mentioning any names. His hat was taken clean off his head. So he ran for his dear life. But the other end of the story was your grandmother was going to town, and she overtook Hosey at Red Patch Cross, walking into town. And he jumped up on the side of the car anyhow and was on, and Mrs. Jordan said to him, well, Mr. Hosey, he's had a bit of trouble over there yesterday or the day before. No trouble, ma'am, he says, I ran out of bullets.
That's the cow house, Tom, is it?
That's the cow house there.
I remember her, and you look in over the wall, and she'd be feeding the sow in a granite truck outside the yoke there. And the sow went in to lie down then, and this was another compartment here. You see the little door here for the go in here?
Yeah.
I remember the two of us going to Mick Hennessy's wake.
I was telling Matt about it.
And over in the whitewash room, and this wasn't galvanised that time, it was brass bed, part of it. The brass was at the rotten off of the bed. But Mick was laid out in the room anyhow.
On the bed in a coffin. He was in a coffin though.
In the
wasn't
coffin, yeah.
Yeah.
He laid out. And the big ball for them, and the two cats, one of them sitting across his chest here, and the other sitting between the end of the coffin and his for them. Two cats.
There was no one there that night.
No,
Jim Regan, Tom and myself and Pat. And it was a real morbid week.
Would be, yeah. Well, for young lads, they usually done a young lad.
Oh jeez.
And the only thing for heating the place was Pat had a bundle of straw left on the ground, and you take up a wisp of that every so often and throw it in on the
There
fire.
was a shortage of fire.
And then I'd go out then, and he'd just get another wisp before the flames would be gone out completely. That was hate that over a match.
Could see this great shadow going along with a great bark or something on his back. Jeez, we looked and looked for a long time.
Yeah.
We thought we were gone mad or something, one or the other, And so what was over in Mike? Went down for a faggot. A faggot of bushes. Bushes about 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So if we got 10 of the lads on the come over the style about Frank Hammond.
Frank Hammond with one arm.
Remember him, Nicky?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you?
There was a little piece, triangular piece, on this side of the stile, and it grew up into bushes, firs. And when the firs had get about as thick as that in the stem, he'd cut them.
Yeah.
And all the lads around couldn't figure out how in the name of God he tied them. He only had one arm.
That's right.
And he bundled them up, and he got down on his knee, held the bushes with his knee like that, cut the, they be tied with a bush.
Yeah, a band.
And he pulled the bush all around. He kicked one end of it in his mouth and tied the other end.
Didn't go off down there anyway.
No, it didn't.
No, that was a separate thing.
Might have went across between that sally there and that scout.
Well,
Yeah, but Tom, maybe it was.
no, I think
Didn't seem to be
Tom is right now. I think that the layman across there.
They're all gone, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Is there a kill over in your land? There must have been some.
No.
Now, where was the
Killer was in Max.
was that the only kill around
That
the
was the
hill?
trail.
It was round the bottom of the hill.
You're on the bottom of the hill.
Oh yeah, there
Where
is,
the
yeah.
water, where the well is, right? Is that still there or is it gone?
Oh, still there.
Still there. Well, the bowl part of it.
Yeah.
One end is that's been pulled out of that.
There was one in Stone Park years ago, there's a field there's the kill field.
Oh,
Bring on the corner. You know where, when you go into out the first field there into the second one over along the apple. Right on that corner there. Those stones, yeah, there was a kill there. That's the kill field.
Aye.
Yeah.
Mac had a finest skill was in the area.
Yes, he had, hadn't he?
And Noel James got on to Mac that time not to knock.
Yeah.
Down the come.
But tell me this now, what way did the kill work?
I don't know.
You know now.
Well, there was 2 or 3 below in Kerlogan, Stafford to Wexford.
Yeah.
And there were big round barrel holes at the top, in the very top. These were high now.
At the back.
These were high.
Yeah.
They had to fill them in because they were fierce dangerous.
Yeah.
And they filled them up half full of sticks, and then they throw in the rock on it. And then they throw in more sticks, and then they throw in more stone.
That was it. When
set
that
fire
was
to
the
it.
trade itself to set
Yeah,
up
burn
that.
in the line,
Yeah.
yeah.
Burn
Between a layer of
burn
sticks, a layer of stones, a
Yeah.
layer of sticks, a layer of stones.
Yeah.
the
But they
whole
were
way
fierce
across.
deep now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were 20 foot deep now. Jeez, they were fierce high.
Well, that's all right, like.
Yeah.
But what happened after that?
It burnt the stone and
burnt the rock.
and they
Yeah.
rake out. There's a name on now. You rake out the eye
Take out
there.
the stuff here.
Yeah.
You can see it there at the bottom.
Yeah.
See that was the eye there. And you break that out. And the ash and all would be together.
Yeah.
And the stone would be gone into powder.
When I was going to school, I used to always collect from my granny the cigarettes for her. I used to collect at the shop and other kinds of different items. But I remember one day she told me to bring home a loaf of bread. And I collected the loaf of bread in the evening and I was coming across the gangway, Stone's Park, and here the loaf under my arm, fell out from under my arm into the river. And a couple of the boys with me come from school. Went down across the fields, met the loaf, which was the loaf wasn't more taken out of the river. And I went to my granny. What she used to do was, I'd get the things for her and be taking over a pension.
And was Mrs. Coney,
Mrs. Coney.
was your granny?
Yeah.
Was she?
She'd be my mother's mother.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I didn't know that now.
Yeah.
Oh, the holy man.
But that was the story, but that
And the poor woman had no bread that evening.
had no bread that evening. We were waterlogged out. Paying low. And I have to the boys met the loaf coming down.
Oh,
And
God.
afterwards, one more thing home.
No, of course there wouldn't.
No.
Drowned in red.
Sounded wet.
Of course there was no wrapping on the bread then, sure there wasn't.
No wrap at all.
It was just
you just
a-
have the loaf
a
on
plain
your-
loaf.
Plain loaf under your arm.
Yeah.
But that's what Davidstown had.
Well, after a very pleasant journey across the fields, we arrived in Davidstown village, and we retired, all of us, to Bill Nolan's tea room and pub, and there we relaxed and reminisced again and discussed the journey and our school days and the teachers and all the rest of it, very enjoyably. And we had sandwiches and so on prepared by Maggie Crane and Josie Stafford and their helpers. We thank them for that. And photographs were taken too, and we thank Mr. Bill Nolan as well for making these premises available. So it was a very enjoyable conclusion to a lovely day, and some people had a drink and more people watched the match, and we concluded a very enjoyable day